He's like another threat. Obviously, since I started my career, all of them posed a threat to me. So obviously, like with Dillian Whyte, it's just trying to execute the game plan as usual.
Obviously, it's a must-win fight, and obviously, I'm going up against the next Mike Tyson, as in he's been compared to Mike Tyson and a lot of great fighters. You know what I mean? I'm just look with me. I never
look. Dillian's in the business. He obviously wants paydays, but he's in the he wants another shot at the title, and he wants to get himself into a position to do that. And for him, looking at all the fighters, all the organisations, you look at Moses. Moses is ranked #1 now by the WBO. So if he were to fight Moses, then that puts him in the #1 spot.
When news broke that Dillian Whyte might be pulling out or hesitating ahead of his scheduled showdown with rising heavyweight Moses Itauma, many expected fireworks from the 20-year-old prospect. Instead, what we got was something even more chilling: calm, calculated confidence.
Just like step by step, fight by fight. If you're gonna ask me like what's my plan in this division, it's to knock Dillian Whyte out.
Moses didn't resort to trash talk or dramatic responses. No panic, no emotion, just a quiet, ruthless statement of intent. His message was clear: step by step, fight by fight. Whitey is firmly in his crosshairs. This is the mindset of a young lion in the fight.
I don't know how I'm meant to feel. I don't really pay much attention to. I've never been someone to pay attention to what people's gotta say. I just do what I believe, and I say, yeah, okay, cool, and just do whatever the fuck I want anyway. So yeah, I don't really, I try and focus on me and what I'm doing and what my kids and families doing. I don't care about some idiots' attention land. Who is these people?
On the hunt, focused, patient, dangerous. While Dillian tries to play it cool in interviews, repeatedly insisting he doesn't care what people say, that he's not rattled, the frequency of his denials suggests something else entirely. When you have to constantly convince the world, and maybe even yourself, that you're unbothered, it raises more questions than answers. Moses isn't just part of the narrative anymore. He's living rent-free in—
There's a lot more punches than that, and I have a lot more punches than that. So, I'm not just focusing on one punch. I'm focusing more on strategy and get into the strategic position to learn what we're learning. It's a softball, so you can't just walk up to them and learn left hook and then the same like you're doing nothing and all people. So you have to set it up and timing and stuff. So yeah, I've just been working more on that.
Whitey's head, and in elite boxing, that kind of psychological pressure has shattered more seasoned fighters than we care to count. As Whitey shifts the conversation towards strategy, talking about bringing more than just power, about timing, setups, and ring IQ, you start to wonder if that game plan will hold up when reality hits. Because once that bell rings,
that's a good fight, actually, especially for Moses. I think it's a very good time to fight Dillian. He's had a couple of years out the ring. But, make no mistakes, Dillian Whyte is a massive puncher to head and body. I know he's taking it very serious. I'm speaking to Ty Mitchell, who's in training camp with him. And looking forward to the fight. It's a big step up for Moses because he hasn't really fought anybody on Dillian's level. The old Dillian, it was a couple of years ago. And it's going to be interesting to see how much that Dillian Whyte has.
Moses isn't going to give him the time or space to think. That window to execute strategy, to adjust, to set traps, it can vanish in seconds when you're facing a young, aggressive fighter with speed and pressure that doesn't let up. Before Dillian can even get to
this once, but I'm talking about with somebody who doesn't fiddle around, somebody who actually would like to get him in the latter rounds and is capable of knocking people over. He's a puncher. You've seen him do it, and he's done it with
his rhythm. He could find himself forced into survival mode. Enter Tyson Fury. The Gypsy King himself recently weighed in on this heavyweight clash, calling it a good fight and pointing out that the timing might actually be perfect for Moses. He's not wrong. Whitey has been out of the ring, inactive, and while he still carries power and danger, the question remains, how much of the old Whitey is still left? The one who went to war with the likes of Chisora and Parker, because if he's even slightly past his peak, Moses will expose it brutally. Fury knows this, so does everyone else watching closely. Frank Warren, never one to miss the bigger picture, focused his take on Whitey's punching power.
I think it's a great fight, but it'll be fascinating to see how Moses goes against Dillian. I don't think they put him in against Dillian Whyte if they think there's real jeopardy for them. I think they might get a few rounds and get asked a few more questions than possibly they've been asked by Marius Wack and Dempsey McKean, but I don't think much. They think much.
Power. And let's be clear, Dillian Whyte has put elite-level fighters flat on their backs. His left hook has ended nights and shattered careers. But as Warren notes, that danger cuts both ways. Moses, too, carries pop in both hands. And more importantly, he's not reckless. He's precise, clinical. If Whitey loads up and misses, the punishment will be immediate. Jordan, speaking with the cold logic of a boxing businessman, breaks it down even further. From the promotional perspective, this fight is a calculated move. Moses is being put in with Whitey not because they see it as a high-risk war, but because they believe the risk is controlled, manageable. In their eyes, Whitey is the perfect step up, a recognizable...
problem with Moses is that his feet and his distance and his range is so good and he's so quick that if you commit to the punches, you're going to get countered. And if you don't, you're going to get backed up and taken out. So it's a real puzzle. There's not many heavyweights that are southpaws. Obviously, Alexander Usyk is, but he's moved up into that
name, past his prime, but still dangerous enough to make a victory mean something. Jordan doesn't sugarcoat it. He says this isn't a 50-50 fight. This is a move made with clear expectation. Moses wins, and wins decisively. But with that expectation comes pressure. If Moses falters, even slightly, critics will circle like vultures. Was he rushed too soon? Is he just another overhyped prospect? However, if he dominates, if he dismantles Whitey like many predict, it changes everything. It sends a message not just to fans, but to the entire heavyweight division. This 20-year-old isn't the future, he's the now. Adam Smith, one of the
boxing guy who's 24 years old, who's got his always faculties right, getting trained by one of the best trainers in the United Kingdom, and then mate, it's like you got more chance of winning the lottery than you beating that Moses Itauma.
Sport's most respected voices puts it best when analyzing what makes Moses such a terrifying opponent. It's not just the power or the youth, it's the ring IQ. Smith describes how Moses controls the ring like a seasoned veteran, forcing his opponents into a tactical nightmare. If you attack, you risk being countered. If you back up, he walks you down and suffocates your space. That kind of pressure breaks people. It breaks strategies. And against someone like Whitey, who thrives on getting close and making it rough, Moses' movement could make every step forward feel like trudging through mud. For Dillian, this is more than a fight. It's a riddle he has to solve in real time. Can he land his shots without getting clipped? Can he close the distance against a faster...
Until that new star establishes himself, so just wait and see, but it's exciting.
What do you make of Itauma versus Dillian Whyte?
It's a good fight. Dillian likes to fight. He'll have a tear up. Yeah. You know, you can't test this man for honors. You know, he'll fight anybody and everybody. So with Dillian doing that, you think, you know what? You know, it's a good fight, good testing fight, and like, you might be a gatekeeper.
Younger man with better footwork, because if he can't figure Moses out early, this will turn into a one-sided lesson. Derek Chisora, never one to hold back, added his signature bluntness to the discussion. He didn't even pretend to offer optimism. He flat out said White's odds are worse than winning the lottery. Brutal, yes, but maybe not wrong. Chisora has stood across from some of the division's most dangerous names. If he's waving the red flag, it's worth taking seriously. Chisora's playful message to Moses, asking him not to put Whyte to sleep too badly, may sound like banter, but it carries the weight of experience. He's seen the damage Moses can do, and deep down, he knows this could end violently. Johnny Nelson also provided his seasoned insight, framing this fight in broader career terms. For Whitey, Nelson suggests this may mark the beginning of a new chapter, the gatekeeper phase. Still dangerous, still powerful, but no longer expected to dominate at the world level. That status makes him ideal for testing rising contenders. If Moses wins decisively, it's proof that he can hang
everything, because he knows it's last chance saloon for him. He needs the victory here. So, look, we find out just how good Moses Itauma is, I think, on the 16th of August when he boxes Dillian Whyte, because I think he wins it and wins it in style. But everyone they put in front of him so far, he's just dismantled. I think this kid's going to...
with veterans and absorb their lessons while dishing out punishment. But for Dillian, this is a chance to prove he's not just a stepping stone, not just a name on someone else's resume. Spencer Oliver takes it further, calling this a measuring stick fight for Moses. No more soft touches, no more prospects prospect paddock. This is where we find out whether Moses Thomas Itauma truly belongs among the elite. Whitey's resume includes names like Joshua, Povetkin, Parker, and Rivas. He's been hit hard, he's hit harder, and he's survived wars. If Moses beats him and does it in style, it erases all remaining doubt. Oliver believes he won't just win, he'll dominate. That kind of talk is bold, but when it comes from someone who's seen it all, it feels more like prophecy than prediction. And then Chisora returns, throwing more unfiltered heat. He admits he told Dillian not to take the fight, not out of fear, but out of reality. That kind of advice from a fellow heavyweight is heavy, especially from someone who's been through every type of war imaginable. And when he jokes with Moses, warning him not to knock Whitey out too badly, the humor barely masks the truth. Everyone knows.
Message him, I was like, listen, I don't know why you're taking that fight, for what reason, and he goes, oh, he don't care, you're not my friend, you know, so I was like, listen, just be careful, and I messaged Moses, I'm like, Moses, just fight him, but don't put him to sleep that badly.
Knows what's coming. Andrew McCart strips the emotion out of the conversation and focuses on motivation. He suggests that for Whitey, this might not be about redemption or glory. It might be about the paycheck. That's a dangerous mindset against someone like Moses. When you're in the ring with a destroyer, you need more than financial incentive. You need fire. You need obsession. Because once you're under fire, money won't save you. And if Whitey is even halfway checked out, Moses will make him pay. Moses benefits massively from this dynamic. He's stepping in against a big name who may not be 100% locked in, and that means opportunity. McCart isn't cynical, he's just honest. Boxing is a business. Fighters assess risk and reward. For Moses, the stars have a line, a big name, a fading threat, a stage to shine. Alado, breaking it down from a tactical standpoint, hits the nail on the head. If Whitey has any hope, he needs to summon the raw, vicious version of himself from years past. That fighter was relentless, rugged, and ruthless. But that fighter also took damage, fought wars, got knocked out. The mileage has caught up, and now he's facing someone who watched him.
I like the fight. The reason being is because Moses Itauma, we've been saying now, is that guy. He needs that test. He needs that step up. And I think Dillian Whyte is that guy. Dillian Whyte's probably found it hard now to get that big fight. He's probably said, I'll fight Moses Itauma if you give me X amount of money. And that's probably why this fight.
Growing up, who studied him, and who knows how to exploit his weaknesses. The war starts long before the opening bell, with conditioning mindset and mental edge. Moses, with youth, speed, and hunger on his side, already holds all the cards. Watching Whitey try to roll back the years against a new breed, like Moses, feels like a collision of timelines. This fight isn't just about rankings or belts. It's about legacy and momentum. One fighter is clawing to stay relevant. The other is racing to the top. Moses Itauma has been heralded as the next big thing in heavyweight boxing, and fights like this are the proving grounds. He's not fazed by veteran gamesmanship, media pressure, or locker room whispers. He's here to leave a mark so violent and so undeniable that even the biggest names in the division take notice. And if this plays out the way many insiders expect, Dillian Whyte won't just lose.
And we need to almost see the old school Dillian Whyte who, wasn't afraid of anyone, would put it on anyone, because Moses is still only 20. And I almost feel like if Dillian needs a path to victory, it might start from outside the ring first, and then we'll see. Because there would have been a time when Moses has grown up and he's watching Dillian Whyte.
He'll be the warning sign, the example promoters show future opponents when they say, don't underestimate this kid. This isn't just a fight, it's a reckoning.